Hi, all. Welcome to the 3-day closeout with our team, Christy, the Strategic Account Manager Extraordinaire, and Trish Freeman from Oxygen Business Group. We'll get started in just a bit. We're letting people into that waiting room, but welcome.
Why don't you, if you want to settle in by throwing into the chat what studio you're associated with and where in the world you are. We have participants registered from all over the earth. So it might be fun for us to see if there's any neighboring studios that we can come take a class at. I'm in Denver, so I would love to hear if there's anybody here in the Denver, Colorado area so I can come in and take a class at your studio if I haven't yet. Hi, Stretch Lab, Plantation, Florida. Awesome. Oh, great. In Canada. Awesome. Great. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Deborah. And then more cycle studios. Yes, I want to come take all of these cycle classes. Redondo Beach, California. And then, hi. Cycle Bar in Littleton. So we have a winner. We have somebody for me to come take a class with in Lone Tree and Littleton. Yes, I'm coming to see you, Dale. That sounds like a plan. Now I'm held to it. So Michelle will hold me to that promise. She knows I always have a fun time getting on a bike. I'm into it. And then we also have more California and Las Vegas. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. Baptiste Power Yoga. I've taken a class from there before. Maybe it was New York. Right? Do they have those in New York? I feel like I've taken a class there. Awesome. Thanks for letting us get a little warmed up here as we let everybody in from the waiting room. And then I think we're pretty much good to get started and let anybody who's a little delayed just join us when they're ready. I know that our studio managers tend to get last minute important things. Maybe you registered for this and you're about to go teach a class that you weren't planning to teach because somebody didn't show up. But we'll get started and we'll get you oriented as you enter. So I'm going to kick us off. My name's Christy. I am a strategic account manager with Loyalsnap. I have been working here at Loyalsnap for 3.5 years. And in my time here at Loyalsnap, I have been lucky enough to partner with Trish, who's our star speaker for the day. So I feel really honored to get to introduce her. We have been working with, Trish has been with us since the very beginning. She is the founder of Oxygen Business Consulting Group, and she's known for her just no-nonsense approach to business growth. She's earned an absolutely stellar reputation. I am talking about a room full of 100 people, and every single person wants them to sit next to her when you go to an event with her. She's that secret weapon, the right hand to every solopreneur out there. She partners with Loyalsnap, and she's been with us since our very earliest days. And we see that firsthand impact she has on studio management, and she changes teams and she changes their mindset. So whether it's a boutique fitness franchise or a solo location, Trish helps systems and marketing strategies change. Your whole paradigm is about to shift. So I'm going to, without any further rambling here, Trish, sorry, I'm going to let you take it from here, mute myself, and hang out with the chat. So if you need anything, throw it in the chat. Go for it.
Hello, everyone. I want to say thank you to the girls. They're absolutely amazing. And I've really loved Loyalsnap because of running a business as I have been, and I've been in the fitness industry for over 30 years and I've owned multiple studios. Having a system that manages my leads and my trials and having a system that I can find easy and simple to use has been a lifesaver for me. So a lot of my consulting clients are on Loyalsnap, which has made a massive difference. And it also helps me in implementing new systems and processes for their sales. But I just want to quickly go through what I've implemented in a lot of businesses at the moment. And we found that these systems are making a massive difference in the sales. And I don't know what that is. Let me just move that. So we found that leads and trialers are so important to a business, and we need to nurture and look after them. And what I found is that a lot of the businesses I was working with, the manager was doing classes, they were doing admin, and then they had to do sales, and the conversion rates were extremely low. So what we did was remove the admin, and we put processes and systems in the business, and we set targets for the managers, and we started to see businesses grow. And it's actually, we've been doing this for about 6 months, this 3-day closeout, and just watching numbers being met and targets, and the feeling of success with the managers is just amazing. Like I've created all of these powerhouses, salespeople that, know their numbers, know their sales, they can work through their database, and they're just loving business. So, and they feel like they're achieving. And that's a thing, the biggest thing, knowing your numbers and knowing whether you're actually succeeding for the business owner or for yourself as the business owner makes a big difference. So what I'll do is I'll go through this. One of the big things for me is managing your leads. And if you're running a small boutique business, automations are great, but we need to go back to the phone calls. We need to build a relationship. We need to nurture the clients when they're coming into the door, and we need to follow up. So that's one of the big things that we've implemented, and it really works. So using the dashboard, in MindBody, in Loyalsnap, we've actually set up the dashboard to manage all the leads and trialers. So, I've set this up for my clients. So, leads in the last 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, when they purchase a trial. When the trial hasn't booked into a session, first booked into a session, they've done their first visit, they haven't booked into the second, they've attended their second, the trial has not booked into the third and attended their third. So this is the nurturing that we do within the business. And then obviously we follow up people that have done a late cancel and no show, because these people, like, we want to try and encourage people to book into classes. And because you guys are busy doing the do, this is a way of finding out, who didn't attend, giving them a quick call or sending them a quick message to say, hey, you missed out on a class, have you rebooked? Or go into your software, check the client to see, well, you can probably do it at Loyalsnap, check to see if the client has booked into another class, and just send the message, sorry, we didn't see you into class. It's one of those little things that makes a difference, that it's a value add. It's showing that you care, that makes a difference to a client's feeling about the business. So what I found is that we used to just, get the trial into the door, and then we're chasing them at, as the trial is expiring. But the nurturing through their first 2 or 3 sessions will make a massive difference to them, because they're going to be building a relationship with you. They know that you care because you're following them up, and it will encourage a conversion onto a membership. So let me go back to my document. Okay, so when a new client purchases a trial, it's a pivotal moment for both you and the business and the client's journey. Here's a quick summary of what you can see. So first impressions. Oh, there's a T missing in the trial. Sorry about that. So first impressions, how you greet them, what sort of message they get from you at the beginning is really, really important. The conversation, are you asking them the right questions, and are you treating them as if they're a member? So you've got to also understand a client journey. So I had a big health club. We had 4,500 members, and leads were really, really important. And if someone walked to my front door and said, I want to find out about memberships, my salespeople would be like, oh, please let me take that person, because they know that the conversion would be a lot higher. The client has already made a decision to come into your business and to look around. Nowadays, clients are buying the trial online, they're booking themselves in, and they're coming in. So their intention to buy is actually quite high. And that is the assumption that we need to have when that client comes in. If we just assume, oh, they're trial hoppers, this, that, and the other, you're sadly mistaken, because I've seen so many clients that have assumed clients were trial hoppers that ended up buying. So you can't assume that they're just coming in just to use your business. They're coming in because they have a problem and they're looking at you to find the solution to their problem. And if you don't ask the right questions and you don't assume that they're going to buy and give them a solution, they're not going to buy. They're not. So we need to look after every single one of them. So this is the process that we've sort of set up. Word of mouth is really important. You know, members talking about your business will also encourage people. So I'm hoping that you guys all have a referral system in your business. Tracking clients, helping them understand what works and what doesn't work so you can optimize your sales and onboarding process. One of the big things that we do in a lot of the businesses is on day 3 of their trial, we sit down and talk to them about their goals and offer them a solution. And that is really, really important. You don't wait until the trial finishes. You get them on the first, second, or third. I encourage the third visit. Okay, so I've set up some scripts for you, and you can change it. You can have an opinion, which is all fine, but the whole idea of what we're doing is reaching out to clients. So what I always get my managers to do is to call, and if there's a no answer, call again, leave a voice message, and then send a message. And you will obviously read it, you know, let them know that, you know, who you are, where you're from. I wanted to personally reach out to say thank you for registering your interest in our 2-week intro offer at our studio. Please let me know when you're available to chat. I did call you, so please feel free to call me back on this number, or if you would prefer to message me back. I'm excited to get you into the studio to start your fitness journey with me. Do you need help purchasing the trial? One of the big things that I've always noticed, and to encourage conversation, is to end a message with a question. So treating that person, you know, thanking them. Like we are in an environment where we've got so much competition. So every lead that comes through the door or inquires is gold. So we need to treat them as such. And the way I believe is that you obviously call them and just make sure that they feel really comfortable. Hearing your voice, leaving a voice message makes a big difference as well. If you use WhatsApp, you can leave a voice message. I know that you can leave a voice message using text as well, but allowing a client to hear your voice somehow breaks down some of the barriers. Okay, so just make sure you always leave a voice message. I've heard so many, you know, young managers that say, oh, I never listen to my voice message, blah, 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 which is great. But there are a lot of people who do. And the people that can afford your business, who are, you know, business, you know, work in an environment in business, run their own business, they do listen to voice messages. Okay, so once the trial is purchased, I've got 2 options here. So this is the first one is they've purchased the trial and they haven't booked in. So, hi, my name is such and such. I wanted to personally reach out to you and welcome you, and I'm excited to get you started on your introductory offer at our studio. Please let me know when you're available to chat. I did call you, so please feel free to call me back on this number, or if you prefer to message me back. I wanted to make sure you get the most out of your trial, so I'll be following you up and making sure that you're booking into your class. On your 3rd visit, you will be booked into a one-on-one or a body scan to go over your goals. I'm so excited to get you into the studio to start your fitness journey with me. Do you need help booking into a class? So what I've done there is letting them know that number one, I'm going to be tracking them, and number two, that on their third visit, they're going to have an appointment with me. So we're presetting the process of the trial and what's going to happen to them when they're coming into the business. So when they're getting their next call or their next message, they're not thinking, oh, she's chasing me, she's hounding me. They're already preset to know that that's going to happen. Now, if the client has already booked in, what I've done is given them a bit more information. So I'm basically letting them know if I'm going to be there, and if I'm not, the name of the coach or the instructor that's going to meet them. And what they will do is explain to you how the sessions will work and will support you personally throughout the class. Please try and come in 10 minutes early to do some basic admin, and don't forget to bring towel and water and towel. I will call you tomorrow to see how you enjoy the class. Have fun, and then add your name. So it's very simple. And, you know, the good thing with Loyalsnap, you can set all of these messages in Loyalsnap in here. So you can add your text messages in here. And that's what we found with a lot of the studios. They're adding all of the messages or their own version, which is great. And it makes a big difference. So if the client, if we click on the client, we make the call, we register the call here, and then we can send the text from here and it'll show up. So I think setting up Loyalsnap to manage everything that you're doing is the biggest game changer for me as a consultant, because I can set all of this up and then I know that they're going to be sending the right information. Okay, so before their first class. So if you've sent them a message and they hadn't booked in, and then you check your schedule today to see, or today to see who's coming in tomorrow, this is a quick message that you can send. Again, telling them what's going on, who's going to meet them, and what they need to do. So then we're going to go through a process of, you know, client's first class, completed their first class, a second class, completed their second class, and then attended their third class. So in here, we're assuming that, you know, they've done their 3 sessions, they're loving it because they are coming in. So we must assume that they're going to buy. So this is the time, if you've got them face to face, is when you start talking about the sale and going through the whole process. So I've written it all down for you, and I've even got a sample of a sale process, which you can use or have a look at it and tailor it or totally scrap it. It's totally up to you. So now we're going to go into the 3-day sale. Now, the reason why I did the 3-day sale is a business will get a certain amount of leads and they get a certain amount of trialers in the business. And we found that a lot of the clients aren't buying straight away. So why aren't they buying straight away is fear of getting committed, not sure if they like the business, might have had a bad experience, might not have utilized the trial, a whole host of reasons. So what we do in a lot of our businesses, we set up targets and we look at every business to grow at least 10 build members, because the build revenue is the foundation of your business. The packs and upfronts come and go. Like, you could have a big upsurge of packs and then the next month you have nothing. So it can really affect the cash flow. So the big one for me is to make sure that we're always building our build database. And so what we found at the end of the month, that we weren't meeting the sales. Now, in my big business, we always had a 3-day closeout. So my sales team would pull up all the leads, all of the people that they've spoken to, and send them a secondary offer. Now, the offer will be a discount of some sort. So what we did was, let me just go show you what an offer would look like. So, to increase your build offer, we did 50% off on the first and second month on a minimum of 6-month membership, 50% off the first month on a 12 sessions every 4 weeks. So that could be an offer to increase your build members. Or if you need to increase your revenue, we did it 12 months up front, 50 classes at $650, and then 20 classes. And what we found that if we wrote down how much each class was, we had better responses. So it works. It's working really, really well with a lot of businesses, and I'm really, really happy that we're getting massive results. So why are we running a 3-day sale? It creates urgency. So people love a deal. They love, getting an offer. And today's environment, we must always be giving an offer to get a client over the line because there's competitors everywhere. They also have the fear of missing out. It boosts the end of month. So as I was saying, we can get closer to our KPIs and making sure that we, either hit or exceed the goals. And then, if you have limited spots in classes, unused memberships, or you want to fill quite a 3-day sales helps move these quickly. It clears inventory. So, if someone is, sitting on the fence, we can easily get them over and restart conversations. And the conversations are not salesy. They're very, very mild. It's more of, let's have a chat. What are you doing? Are you achieving your goals? Which I'll walk through a little bit later. It increases your brand because when you're marketing out into the community, people see you all the time. Now, they might not buy from you straight away, but they're seeing what's going on. And so when they're ready to buy, they will buy. So, it really works well. And we've seen, ex-members, expat people come in and buy. We've seen friends buy for friends. Like, it's just really quite amazing on what has happened using this process that big business use in small boutiques. A light window means, people don't have time to overthink, they just buy. And it builds momentum for the next month. So you've got this new group of new members, the place is busier, and a busy studio or busy business means more energy in the studio. There's nothing worse than having classes that, it's not filled. And I know, we've got ClassPass and products like that in the marketplace, but we really want to have paying clients at the rate we want to charge in our business. So how to structure a 3-day sale. I don't know why this is looking like that, so my apologies. Choose a clear offer. Discounted membership, 20% off the first month, waive the joining fee, free personal training or group classes with the sign up, exclusive access to premium classes for new members, set up a firm start date and end date. Sale runs the 29th to the 31st only. It's only limited to 10 or the first 20 sign-ups. Keep the message simple. Know your numbers. So this is the big one for me, and it made the biggest difference for my managers who had no understanding about the numbers. So I'm just going to quickly show you the numbers that I do for clients, and I don't know if I can make this bigger. So every month I do a bunch of numbers, and based on past numbers that I've done, their attrition rate is 5%. That means if they've got 200 members, 5% of that database is always leaving. The average is between 7 to 10%. So having a 5% means that they're running a pretty good business. So she's, based on her member number, she's projected to lose 10 members every month. So for her to grow every month on Build members, she needs to sell 15. Now, what her billing income has been is around 30,000. And then the rest of the money that's coming in is about 50% that she's getting from trials, class packs, upfronts, everything else apart from Build. Now, these are her numbers that she's done over the last through periods. So she's gone from 30 grand a month to 34. Oh, actually 34 of billing. So she's made an extra 48 grand per year on her bottom line, and her monthly income has gone from 46 to 52, which is great. So the owner is pretty happy. Now you can see whether she's succeeded her target or whether she's gone under. And this girl is just a rocket, an absolute rocket. So what we do now is we manage how many build sales come in, and we also manage how many cancellations. And we basically set up a trial tracker. So the admin team does all of this, and what they do is list where all the trialers are coming, like where all the sales coming from. So you can see ex-members, 10 packs, drop-ins. So we know where they're coming from. We can see what the promo was, the client, what they purchased, and whether it's Build or upfront. And then we've also got a list of everybody that cancelled, so we can see the reason, whether they're in minimum membership, whether they're out of contract, and the life of the membership. So these guys are paying monthly, so you can see that the life of their clients are actually quite high. Like this client was there for 2 years, 13 months. That's a really good life cycle of a client inside a business. Now, based on all of these numbers, I can see that she had a Build member growth of 9. Now, I know numbers are not everybody's thing, but when you start working with these numbers and you set commission based on these numbers, you can see a light go on to people who love making money. And salespeople should be people who love making money. But we can see that she sold 25 upfronts, which is packs and upfront memberships. She sold 21 direct debits, which is Build members, and she had 12 cancellations. So her growth was 9, and she increased the billing £1,549 a month, which is amazing. And you can see she ran her flash sale or payday sale, and these are all the sales that she made. She had an amazing month last month. And her trials for the month was minuscule. Like she had something like 30 trials. So what she did was she really focused on ex-members. And because she really focused on getting ex-members back, she did really well. And current trialers and current packs. So understanding who is in your business, when they're expiring, when their sessions are running low, is really important, because you've got so many people in your business and so many people that have left your business. It doesn't mean that they've died. They're always going to come back. And the whole idea about these sorts of marketing is to make sure we're constantly giving someone an opportunity to come back into your business. So these are the sort of results that we're getting. So how to promote your 3-day sale. So you can do it through an email blast, social media post, SMS text, in club, reactivate old leaves, or get your staff. And this is the big thing that I found, that when the staff, the people that are working in your business, the ones that are talking to your clients on a day-to-day basis, they need to know what's going on in the business. They need to know what the offers are. So if someone is asking the question, then they're able to give the information, or to let them know where they need to go in signing up. Now, what we have done in a lot of businesses is we've taken out not taken off their ability. We just believe that getting them behind a computer and selling a membership is just so tedious, and it really, destroys the vibe. So what we've done is we've set up a whole bunch of forms. Now, this is her form, and we send this out through email marketing, and we send it out through text messaging, or even have the link on an iPad, and it makes a massive difference because we can sell the membership, especially with franchises where we can't change the database, or name different pricing or products. So we've created these forms. It explains everything to them. It gives them their terms and condition. They can choose their start date and terms, and all they do is sign at the bottom. Oh, they have read it. And what they do is get a document, and that document is stored in, your software. And if anybody questions their terms and conditions, you say, well, you've signed it. And that's what we also found was a lot of people who are saying, oh, I didn't hear that, or, the manager didn't tell me that, or I didn't know it was a 30-day notice, like all of these questions. I didn't know I couldn't suspend. I didn't know there were fees. So this is why it's really important that you have terms and conditions in your business. It makes a really clear understanding of what someone is buying and knowing what they can and can't do in your business. And once you've set really strong terms and conditions, you've just got to make sure you adhere to it. So hence why a lot of studios now have us managing their their admin, because you guys are the good guys because you're front facing, and the admin team are the bad guys because they adhere to your terms and conditions.
Hey, Trish, can I interrupt you for one quick second while we're on this subject of winning back former members?
Yeah.
I really loved what you said about always, I like thinking about them as always being your members, but maybe they're not always on an active membership, right? So
Yeah.
you're continually keeping that part, they're still part of the community. So I really love
Yes.
that idea. Can you share with the group, Andrew just brought up in the chat, do you have a good suggestion, or what are some of the top campaigns or offers that you've seen former members, really take to? Is there an offer or an interesting presentation to return to the studio that you've seen be effective outside of the box?
Yeah, look, there's lots of things. Like we're constantly doing drives in the business. One of the things that I noticed that works really well is an open week. And we do 2 open weeks a year, and we make it an event. So remember when you first opened your business and there were the balloons and, the coffee and cake and, all this sort of things happening. What we do is we run 2 open weeks, and we're going to run one in September. And the open week is an event. So they'll get the whole place re-cleaned, they'll touch up the walls and blah, blah, blah. They'll have balloons, they'll have coffee, they'll have games, they'll have lucky door prizes, they'll have external businesses bringing in their products. We make it an event, and we invite the database. Hey,
Yeah.
we're having an open week, love to get you back. An open week works, but it's what you do with the open week. So, we've got an admin team, so they fill out a form. We get the information, we process, the open week offer. The manager then calls the client, books them in, and nurtures them throughout the 7 days. And that's one of the important things that you need to do is the nurturing. You can't just let people walk through your business and walk out. So it's like opening your house and you have the front door and the back door open. People come in, eat all your food, you drink, and they walk out the door. And that's what's happening with a lot of businesses. They're opening the door and nobody's standing at the front door and say, hi, my name's Trish. This is my home. Let me take you through a tour. We're not doing that. We're just letting the doors open. Like there's nobody at reception. Reception is your gateway. It's the person that they see as soon as they walk in the door. And you must have someone at the front door.
That
You
is
must.
so true. I mean, and I know like so many people on this call are listening in are probably doing it all, right? So
Yes.
often it's hard to have a dedicated sales team or front desk person, but even if you're giving that task to a trainer or your manager, they have to sort of put down the plunger. Like I'm always joking, like I know you have to fix the toilet, but in that moment, if there's somebody you've got to prioritize the people. That I think that's a really good thing for us to remember. And I
Yeah.
also think it's really great what you're saying about bringing them back in, because if it's a former member, it's possible they left because they wanted you to change up, you know, the programming or the
Yeah.
instructors, and unless you have somebody to ask what made them change their mind and try it again or get the feedback, you won't ever really know why people are leaving or coming back. So I think that's good. Just get somebody in front of them and talk to them.
Yeah.
So important.
There's other offers that we've done, you know, like a 2-week welcome back offer, but you call it as a welcome back. We ran a promotion on a couple of studios around Christmas time, and it was like 4 weeks for 99. And, you know, one studio picked up something like 35 clients, which brought in 3,500 at Christmas time, where, you know, that is really important. Most of those people started in January and 60% of those people converted. So, you know, they had a stellar January for that reason. I had another business who ran 4 weeks for 99 last month, and he converted 78, and out of those 78, 60% turned into a membership. Now, he had a 40-member growth that month. Like, these numbers are unheard of, but again, you must look after them. You need to make sure that they're coming in and they're being looked after, that you're having that conversation about, you know, what their goals are, setting them up on some sort of program. So we set up a 4-week induction where as soon as a member joins, we, you know, sit down with them and say, what are your goals? Can you commit to a certain amount of, at least 3 classes a week for the next 4 weeks? And they say yes. And we write down on a card what those classes are, and then they sign it. So it's their commitment to themselves and to us that they're going to be showing up to these classes. And you're embedding them into the business. Because what we tend to do is we so focus on sales, as soon as they become a member, we forget them. And then, you know, a month later, they're leaving. So we've just got to look after the people that we have. It's really, really important that we manage our database, and that is members as well as non-members.
Awesome. I'm going to let you take it back over, but I did just get one more question from Tessa about what form did you use to create that landing page. I know Trish has her own setup of forms, but Trish, can you share a little bit more about how you made those landing pages?
Yeah, so we set up form stack, and we can actually set up the forms for you. We've also set up another one, which is a 4-week offer, and this is something that we did. And, you know, it's 4 weeks for 99, and we ask them, when are you going to start? So again, it's got, you know, credit card details, terms and conditions. So we create, I don't know how many clients, we've got over 150 clients that we do the forms. We set up what it looks like. We, you know, make these happen. And then from that, we also in Loyalsnap, we create the artwork. I'll just let you know what it looks like. So everything is in line. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's, you know, it's about consistency. It's making everything look professional, making everything look gorgeous, you know, and the way we do it, it doesn't cost the earth to get it set up. It doesn't cost you an earth to get the marketing done. It's, you know, because me being in business, I've been ripped off by marketing companies who promise me the world and gives me basically nothing to what I expected. So I've built my business in a way of supporting small business so we can grow. And that's what we've done. So quickly going through the 3-day sale. So you check your 3-day sale offer. So you need to know what you need to make. So if I go quickly back to my numbers, every week I go into the database and I work out, okay, how much money have I made already? and what is the billing projection for the rest of the month? How much am I making from the billing? And then I add whatever I earn from ClassPass and Gym Pass. This is a London studio. This is how much I currently have in is income. This is what my target is, and I've got to make $6,000. And these managers work to that number. So she knows that she has to make $6,000. At this point of time in July, she is at a -6. She's been on a week's holiday, so she's going to be working a little tush off to make sure she gets her growth. So, and she's a gun. Like, I've never seen a girl who runs classes and manages studio and does sales as good as this girl. And, you know, she was just a trainer. So, excellent manager. She's grown so much. But this is all about knowing your numbers. And, you know, if you don't want to know your numbers, but you want to learn, I mean, that's what we do. It's giving you the understanding about your business so you know that in 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, if you follow the processes, you'll get your business to X. So that's what we do, and that's what we usually get a lot of our clients who do that. And then what they end up doing is opening multiple studios, which makes a big difference for them. They feel very empowered. Anyway, back to the sale. So you check your 3-day offer, get a list of all the attended trialists for the month that you have not purchased, that have not purchased anything. Get a list of all your current trialists, and list of all expired packs or upfronts, and list of terminated members. So we work on your database. And yes, we can do things automated, but somehow a personal email with their name at the top makes a massive difference. So these guys will have 60 trialers, 50 trialers that they will personally email. And they will either do it through their Gmail, but now I've set it up in Loyalsnap, wherever Loyalsnap is. So if I go into home, sorry, and I go test, and I want to send an email out to the client, which I preset in response templates. There it is. So the only thing I'm going to have to do is move this into here, and then I'm ready to go, send it out. Then next client, next client, next client. So this is all set up in your settings page under response templates. And so I've set up my messages for the 3-day sale, the 4-week offer, message 1, message 2, trial ending, trial expired. So I don't have to keep rewriting messages. And then here's the email. And it makes a massive difference to these managers because they don't have to keep writing things. It's sitting there, they know what they need to do, and it's easy to send out. So, and my job is to make it easy for them because as running my own business, I know what it's like. And I know the pain that they're feeling when they need to make their numbers. So as much as I can do to help them is what I do. And Loyalsnap has made the biggest difference for these guys. But this is an email, and the email is just, you know, hey, hope you're doing well. I just wanted to quickly check in and see how you're doing. Last time we spoke, you mentioned you focused on achieving your goal of, and you need to write it. So it becomes very, very personable. So please make sure when you're using Loyalsnap and you're taking notes that you do put these notes in Loyalsnap. So when you're sending these emails, you've got that information. You know, are you still on track with that, or do you have priorities shifted a little? Is there anything I can do to support you? Or if you want to chat about your progress, I'm always here. Looking forward to hearing you. If they respond, then you send them the link. All right. Day 2, I mean, this is for WhatsApp or text messages. So we're sending out a text to say, hey, hope you're doing well. I just wanted to check in to see how you're tracking, blah, blah, blah. I know training here at your studio will give you the results you're looking for, and I wanted to be part of the change. Would you be interested in knowing more about our specific offers that we're running until the end of the month? And it just sparks a conversation. So we're not doing pressure sales. It's sparking a conversation. Make sure you follow up in the studio all your active trialers in your classes and offer them the same 3-day sale offer. Also check your membership reports for any packs and upfronts that are currently active and are due to expire or sessions are running low, and any packs or upfronts that have expired this month, and follow them up with a call and message about the sale. Now, day 3 is all about following up, and that's making the call. And that's the process. So what we do is every month we do the 3-day sale for our trialers of the month. Every second month we do an email blast and a text blast to the database, and then they might put some posts on social media, but we do that every second month.
And when
Okay.
do you do it in the month, Trish? Do you usually have them like just a couple of days before the like end of the month, sort of?
Yeah, I always do it. Yeah, 3 days. It's always the last 3 days of the month. Yeah.
Awesome. And we've seen, I mean, all of Trisha's clients who do this process, it's like it is encoded in their system. So we see they have dynamic lists already set up in Loyalsnap so that they can go down through those packs expiring or whatever that group is, and they can just push those messages straight through, because those are dynamic and they're constantly updating. And we're also tracking, obviously, anybody who's on a membership. Trisha's clients always catch their low usage members before anybody else, so that they are on track to continue staying at their highest attendance rate. Awesome.
Yeah, and it's so good. Like, it's so easy to, click on the client. You can probably open 2 Loyalsnap pages. The report looks really cute. Like, I really love what they've done. I'm obviously going to build on these, like upfronts that have expired, upfronts that are coming up to expiry, packs that have expired. Like, there's lots of things that I'm going to be adding, and Loyalsnap are amazing. They get it done for me and, hundreds of my clients. So it's working really well. So the other thing that we do is we send out a couple of messages to clients that didn't buy the month before. So I would be sending this out to my clients the end of the month, to people in June, and it's the 4-week offer. And say, hi, I just wanted to check in to see how you've been since trying out our offer last month. We'd love to have you back in the studio. We've got a special deal for you, 4 weeks for $99. If you're keen to jump on, let me know. I'm happy to get you started. And then day 2, hey, we'd love to have you back in the studio into regular training, blah, blah, blah. Let me know if you're interested, as I only have a few left. And if you get 5 trickling through, that's 5 people that will potentially turn into a member the following month. And that is the big difference. Like, just constantly having a funnel of people coming into your business and hopefully converting to members. And then the last thing that we do is we always send out some sort of promotion to leads that, created a profile and haven't bought a trial. So we would set up a better offer and, like value add. And we will set 3 emails up in Loyalsnap that they will just schedule, and they just run it every month to the leads of the last 30 days. No, to leads that didn't purchase. So it's something that they send out, and it's like a special offer. And that is it. So, using Loyalsnap to support your 3-day sale, set up your dashboard to support your trial follow-up. Make sure that if you're using automations for trial management set up, please make them personable so they know it's not an automation, and be aware that they are being sent, what's being sent. So your automations and your messages or conversations, you've got to make sure that you're not bombarding people with lots of automations if you're going to be doing a lot of calls. The automations are basically for businesses that are run on autopilot. And I'm not taking anything away from Loyalsnap, but the reason why I set up Loyalsnap for my clients is if my managers were on a holiday, then I know the system was going to run and look after my clients. if you've got a manager who's making the calls and following people up, you've got to limit the amount of automations you have. Otherwise, you're going to be sending out too many. So that's just one of the things that we sort of found out. Set up your messages and emails either in the script section or another spelling mistake or on the dashboard, or set them up in the response templates. Use your tasks for follow-up and use your dynamic lists for for the 3-day sale. And that's it. So I want to say thank you for your time, and I hope this has helped you. So I've just given you a little bit of information on, if you want to reach out to me, love to hear from you, even if it's a 30-minute complimentary session, but there's all this other stuff that we do.
Awesome. And this is so valuable, Trish. I know this is like a part of what you give your paying clients. So I feel like it's really a beautiful gift you're sharing with everybody on the call. And all of this will be included in the follow-up email. We'll send you the recording of the call, transcript, and also this slide deck that Trish has supplied that has some really great content that you can just immediately implement in your texts and your WhatsApps and your emails. So with that said, we have a little bit of time. Does anybody have a question that they were not able to throw into the chat or, okay, great. Any tips on ClassPass members since the passes are generally a lot cheaper? I'm going to let you take that, Trish, but I'm just going to say, as somebody who I've seen firsthand, people think that no one ever converts from ClassPass, and I have seen it happen in front of my own eyes. So Trish, do you have anything to say about your ClassPass leads or ClassPass clients?
Yes. So the first thing that I would do is jack up my price for my drop-in and my packs online. If you are managing your pack sales, like your current members who are buying packs, you can always use the forms to give them a discount, or you can send them a promo code in an email to say when the trial is, the pack is running out, use this to get a 10% discount or 20% discount. But increasing your pack rate and letting ClassPass know will increase your rate. The other thing that I would do is the busy classes, take them off ClassPass access.
Yeah.
People, and I've heard it 1,000 times, oh, they're ClassPass, I treat them like lepers. Don't do that. Get them to fill out a pre-exercise questionnaire so you can actually get their name and their email address. And again, we use it on a form and it goes into a Google Sheet. So whenever you're doing promotions, you've actually got their emails and you can send them marketing. So that's what we do. You also talk about the value add of what you get as a member. So what are the extra things that you get as a member? So always let them know. Anybody that walks in your business is a lead. I don't care whether they're coming from ClassPass, GymPass, or, it's really, really important that you look after someone the same as a member.
Yeah, I think that's important. And I think like for anybody who's starting to work with ClassPass for the first time, or they're a newer studio, maybe you want to use the freedom of having everything open, but I do think that taking some of your classes off or just restricting how many ClassPassers can book will, once they've tried your studio before and now they can't get into a class, that's actually the thing I've seen work for folks, is like now they like can't get in on ClassPass. So it is a sort of like a little bit of a game that you need to play with, adjusting prices and adjusting access. But I do think they're already looking to work out. So, it's just a matter of finding them the right home. Awesome. Thanks, Jennifer, for that question. Anything else before we head out? I just want to make sure while you have Trish here, if there's any outstanding questions, you can throw them in here. You can follow up. She shared her email address with you in that document, but in our follow-up email, you'll have her contact and our contact if you need to get in touch with us. Thank you all for your time, Trish. Thank you for your time. And it's the summer. This is the time of year. I think a lot of fitness studios, at least in the States, I know it's like I'm saying it's the summer when I know that it's not the summer for you, Trish. But currently, this is a great time for everyone to reevaluate their systems, right? And we want to think about, okay, getting you off to a good start. We all know that Christmas is around the corner, and that's a huge sales time for fitness studios. So this is the time to get everything, just tick every box and get your systems in place so that you can just be off like a rocket, like Trish was sharing about her clients here. All right, everyone, we'll end this here, but you know where to find us if you have any questions. And happy selling. Get to the end of your month. You have let's see, you have 7-8 days to start putting things in order, and you can implement this for August, before August 1st. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.